I come from the province of Capiz and was a child when this bizarre event happened. It was something that has left me scarred for life. Kuya Pablo was my cousin and best friend. We were as close as brother and sister. We also lived very close to each other. I liked my Tita Maria as well. She was gentle and kind and practically the kind of mom any child could ask for. She was also very close with my mom. I always enjoyed going to their house. They were always so welcoming and treated me like a daughter. However, they were having financial problems ever since Tito Carlos stopped working as a farmhand and had gone back to finish his training to become a police officer. And Tita Maria, unfortunately, wasn't earning much in their little business. So she sought my mom's advice, and after careful consideration, she decided to work as an OFW. She applied at a job placement agency and got a job as a caregiver for an old man and his wife in a foreign country. One night, we were all having dinner. "Are you sure about this? You know, being a caregiver isn't all that it's cut out to be." "I'm sure I can handle all that. I did take care of Lola in the hospital, and I'm pretty sure I did a good job." "You're not scared at all by those stories about employers mistreating their employees?" At the time, there were many stories about overseas workers being mistreated or abused by their employers. The majority of them were stories from female workers who claimed to have been raped, abused, or tortured. But Tita Maria assured everyone that she was going to be all right. She then asked us to look over Tito Carlos and Pablo for her, to which we happily obliged. The day came for Tita Maria's flight. She kissed all of us on the cheek before waving goodbye and boarding. Pablo was really sad when his mom went away, but I did my best to keep him company and distract him. Once a week, we would talk to Tita Maria on the phone. It was our only means of communicating with her. She would often tell us about her employers and how they simply adored her. She talked about her daily routine of waking up, preparing breakfast, and gently helping the old man sit up and give him his medicine. "It's like taking care of Pablo." That gave us all relief. At least she was being treated well. She would also tell us about the strange habits and practices of her employers, like how they refused to eat fish on Fridays, and they insisted on food that wasn't seasoned with salt or garlic. And sometimes, they let me eat the same meal as them, like raw liver. Raw liver? They said it's an old family delicacy. It was strange at first, but eventually I got used to it. That's strange. But she assured us that she was perfectly fine. Sometimes I felt like I didn't give her enough credit when it came to adjusting. We changed the subject and talked about how Tito Carlos had just graduated and was applying at the Roxas City Police. It seemed to motivate Tita Maria to work even harder. She would always end the call saying she looks forward to going home and seeing her family. Then one day, while I was with Pablo, I learned that Tita Maria's employer had passed away and that she herself had gotten sick. She didn't want to stay abroad, so she had somehow managed to persuade the Philippine embassy to send her back home. We drove to the airport to meet her when she arrived. I was stunned to see that she was quite thin. Her clothes hung off her shoulders, and her cheeks looked hollow and sunken in. I wondered if her employers were really treating her well. We immediately took her back home and spent the next few days nursing her back to health. We weren't so sure what her illness was, but in a matter of days, she miraculously got better. Save for her appetite, she didn't like eating any of her usual favorites like sinigang or escabeche. Oddly enough, the only thing she seemed to still enjoy was dinuguan. One day, Tita Maria told us that she wanted to cook a special dinner as a thank you for nursing her back to health. On that night, we sat around the table to a delicious meal of adobo, rice, and grilled pork. Tito Carlos started to take in the meal while Tita Maria stayed inside the kitchen, her back facing us. "Maria, this is so good. Did you learn this while abroad?" "Yes." I took a spoonful of adobo. It was really, really delicious. "Tita, why aren't you eating?" She didn't reply. I then noticed how she calmly started cooking again. There was an odd air of uneasiness in the room, like something was missing. "Maria, where is Pablo?" He was right. I hadn't seen Pablo all day. Where was he? "Yes, Tita, where is Pablo? Is he at a friend's house? No, he's here. Oh, he's upstairs. I'll go get him. No need, he's already here. I didn't see him at all. Then I saw Tita Maria slowly turn around. Her eyes looked bloodshot. Her skin had turned somewhat pale. She walked over to the refrigerator and slowly opened it. What she said next is something I can never forget. Carlos, our son, is here, she said as she opened the refrigerator door. We all looked, and to our horror, we saw the severed head of Pablo staring back at us. Doesn't he taste perfect? We stared at the meat on our plates and we realized what we had just eaten. Horrified, I began to cough up and spat what I had just eaten. While Tito Carlos got up and in a fit of disbelief, he began to confront Tita Maria. I heard a loud growl coming from Tita Maria. I looked up and saw that her eyes had gone white. Her mouth had widened into a wide grin that stretched from ear to ear, and her teeth had grown sharp. She crouched on top of the kitchen counter and snarled, then quickly shifted her gaze to me with her sharp teeth exposed. Before we could say anything, Tita Maria lunged forward, but Tito Carlos stopped her from attacking me. Instead, she struck Carlos across his chest with her long, sharp claws. She then turned her attention to me and was about to attack when my mom grabbed her from behind and wrestled her down to the ground. Tito Carlos grabbed a kitchen knife and slashed Maria across her face. Tita Maria leaped out of the window and into the night. Tito Carlos slumped to the ground and began to weep in agony as he heard neighbors entering the house. When they looked inside the refrigerator and saw blood all over him and the floor, they quickly assumed that Tito Carlos had gone mad and murdered his entire family. I quickly rushed to his defense and told them that it was Maria and that she had somehow become a terrifying creature. The men began to go on a massive hunt for Maria, with Carlos leading the search, while the women boarded up the doors and kept their children close in hopes that they would keep them safe from the monstrous Maria. The following days were met with neighbors gossiping about what could have caused Maria's monstrous side. The most outlandish and somewhat believable rumor was that Maria must have been transformed by a blood-sucking monster disguised as her employer, which would explain why she was fed raw liver. In time, her story had spread across the province, and she was given a new nickname, Maria Labo, the slashing woman who prowls the night looking for humans to eat with her horrifying slash face and insatiable appetite.